For those of you who don't know, a matchup is how well does one character do when they have to play against another particular character. But one specific matchup stands above the rest as the worst matchup, the most uneven one-sided matchup in the game. And ironically, it's from one of the worst characters in the game. For those who've played Multiversus, when you think of matchups that are unfair, certain characters may come to mind like Morty versus Jason, or Tom and Jerry versus Jason, just about anyone versus Jason. And while they do suck, this one oppressive matchup comes from Marvin the Martian, my main and my actual GOAT. As the #1 Marvin Martian in the world, self-proclaimed, this character is just slightly terrible. And by slightly, I mean he's horrendous. Struggles to kill even though he's an assassin character, a class that prides themselves on killing early. Lack of any meaningful combos and a bad disadvantage state leaves the poor melanated man to suffer against the rest of the cast. Not to mention his decent moves are always on cooldown if you're using them properly and often, only leaving his up air as his true projectile he can throw out freely. Because it starts in the air, it will miss a lot of opponents unless you get a hard read on them. Except for a certain bald member of the cast, Iron Giant. Widely considered to be the best character in the game with his multiple, true 0 to death combos that can be performed on every character in the game. No joke, the Iron Giant cannot drop these combos unless he decides to give you the stock or suffers brain damage while he's playing, and both of those are very possible realities when you're playing this character. He was taken out of the game multiple times, and when he was reintroduced again, he was actually more broken than before. It's a surprise that he has any bad matchups at all with that description. So what a twist of fate it must have been to see that his worst matchup, in my opinion, is Marvin the Martian. The first true 90-10 matchup in Multiversus. So what do I mean by 90-10? A 50-50 matchup means that each character has about a 50% chance to win. So, as you'd imagine, a 70-30 matchup means that the person with a 70% chance to win, they perform better when they play against that character. So Marvin, he has a 90% chance to win against the best character in the game, and you don't have to do much to win. With how I described Iron Giant earlier, you might be thinking, oh, Marvin has to do some insane spacing and projectile play. No, bro. You literally have to use one single perk, and that is Space Invader. Space Invader allows you to aim your up air because naturally it would shoot straight up, but you can angle it either to the left or the right while you're holding up air. And it seems a bit redundant because the up tilt, which is the same move but on the ground, literally performs the same exact way. There's no real difference between them. But the thing is, with the up air, because it has less frames of end lag, meaning that Marvin the Martian is actionable quicker compared to using the move on the ground, you can do a short hop, which is you jumping low to the ground and doing your up air, landing on the ground, and performing another up air and aiming it at Iron Giant. And because his hitbox is so big, Iron Giant, bro, actually has to duck. Like, you will be role-playing East New York as you're playing Iron Giant versus Marvin the Martian. You'll get shot at 24/7 and there's no reprieve. No one's coming to help you. What makes it even worse is Marvin the Martian's down special is a flag. And whenever you walk into the radius, all projectiles will aim towards you when they're close enough to you. Meaning that the up airs will get even more precise. You don't even have to think about it if you're playing as Marvin. The bullets now have tracking. They're making innovations in East New York, like, please run, bro. What makes it even more grim for Iron Giant, because the up air's knockback is contingent on how it hits you, if you're being tracked by the flag and the up air arcs around and now is following you going downward and that hits you, that's now a spiking hitbox, and you will get spiked and die pretty early. You can get gimped and cheesed and locked out, and Iron Giant really can't do much about it. So you might be wondering if Iron Giant has any fail-safes, any method to defend himself from this, and he does. He has a move where he can give himself armor, which is a shield, and it makes you not get stunned or affected by knockback for one hit. You see the problem with that one hit statement? Because I'm spamming up airs, I'm going to break it in the first hit, and the second hit you go right back to playing Into the Gungeon. That reason alone, it makes it very hard for the Iron Giant player to get any real progress in during the game, because they're being spammed down with up air projectiles that they can't really avoid, and all their movement options are pretty much restricted and they can't do much to avoid the moves. You might think that they can just dodge through it, but that's the other thing. Because it's my projectile, I don't have to be that close to you. So I'm letting you burn out your dodge meter until you eventually go on burnout and you can't dodge anything, and from that point I can just spam you with up airs over and over and over. Not to mention, if you have the perk That's Flammable doc, every time I hit you with a projectile, if I follow up with a melee attack, now you're taking residual chip damage from the flames, so your percent will literally just rise, including his best one being his up special, which spawns a rocket in. Normally, the best way to deal with this rocket is to either destroy the UFO or run away from it so that it doesn't really have much of an effect on you. But the only problem for Iron Giant, again, he's just so freaking big. Like, why is bro so thick and juicy? Like, damn. I know you're gonna have your cheeks just clapping in the air. If Iron Giant tries to destroy your rocket, you can use that as bait and trap him in your up air chain. This is gonna give him a lot of damage, and if he doesn't destroy the rocket in time, he can get hit by that as well and potentially lose his stock even earlier than he was supposed to. The only redeeming quality about Iron Giant in this matchup is the fact that once he gets in, he can kill Marvin the Martian pretty easily like he would to any other character on the roster. Then again, Marvin is rather small and he can just jump around wherever he wants, so the Iron Giant most of the time is chasing the Marvin player in the matchup. Now, normally I would say that across the board this matchup is just 90-10, but I actually feel like if you change the main perk, this matchup is completely different. You can't really spam the up airs if you don't have Space Invader because you won't be able to aim them. And it might even be a losing matchup for Marvin the Martian. That's how much Space Invader matters, especially here. I don't think I've ever seen a perk matter so much with a particular matchup, but without Space Invader, this seems like it's losing for Marvin. So if you guys enjoyed, please like and subscribe, and also thank you guys for 400 subscribers. I greatly appreciate it. This is my first time ever having a YouTube channel, so take care, be good, and love yourself.